Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to lower the car a little bit more. So I got some of these eibach lowering springs. It's 20mm on the front, I believe, and 10mm on the rear. Now normally you can't cut springs, but the rule of thumb is if it's a continuous coil, which means there's no pigtail on the end or there's no flat piece, then you can cut the spring. If it had a pigtail or a flat piece, then you can't cut them. But it just so happens that these can be cut. So the perfect thing is, it's 10mm now drop on the rear, and I want a 20-25mm, so I need to cut 15mm off here. The rubber feet or the shoes, they have locating points. That gives you your level. Same with the top. So it's perfect. So the eibach don't really do 25mm on the rear, not that I can find. So, and I like the compression and the spring rate. It handles well enough. It just doesn't sit quite low enough to my taste on the rear. So what I want to do is just chop an extra 15mm off. And how we're going to do that, I'll explain to you now. So the idea behind it is, I might use that as a level. That's the top of the spring. So get it where it needs to be in there. And all I'm going to do is I'll measure the overall to the very top. And that is 290. So all you do is you turn the spring till it meets the required length. That's 280, so that's dropped it a further 10mm. I just want to go a little bit more. I want to drop it 15mm if I can. So the cut will be there. That makes sense. So I'll double check my measurements before I cut anything. I always measure twice, cut once. So I'll just go over that again and then we'll make the cut. So I've checked, double checked, triple checked. I've made my mark and I'm fucking committed. So what I'll do is I'll just cut that off there. I made the mark. Let's just make a better one. That should be a 25mm drop overall. 10mm that it's already dropped, plus the 15mm that I'm taking out of it. So I'll just chop that off. That's it. I'll put a little paint on the end there, don't want anything rusting. That's roughly, if you can see, what we've taken off. And if you measured it, it's just about 15mm. It's hard to do it on the deck, but proof will be in the pudding when we stick it back on the car. Right, I'll put a little bit of paint on there, just to keep that cut end a little bit protected from the elements. And then we'll stick her back on, and then we'll do the other side. Right, this little tab goes in the locating pin here. All we did was remove the bolt from there. It's the easy way. Saves dicking round with any of your camber and tracking. Remove that bolt, and you can just drop, pull that down. Sits in there. Turn it around so it should sit near like that. Cool. What you want to do is when you're taking it off, just support this with the jack. Otherwise you'll just strip the thread out of you a bit. If it's supported, you haven't got the weight of the spring and the compression of the spring pulling down on this. What I'll do is I'll just get the jack under here and then I'll put the bolt in. So as you can see, all I've done is I've supported the rear arm, got it into position, and this will allow you to get a wiggle bolt in. I should be able to. Obviously, I have to thread it in. Get the nut on the back. What are we doing? Get it on there. Cool. Roll the jack. And that should be that side done now. So what I'll do is I'll do exactly the same for the other side, and then we'll drop her down and we'll see how she looks. I mean, worst case scenario, if it was ever a little bit too low, it's easy to pack them rubber outs. I've got some rubber mat there, about 5mm, so easy to adjust, but I reckon she'll be sweet. So all we've done, as you can see, we've supported the arm with the jack. And all we're doing, so I'll hold the nut at the back. You rattle her all the way out. All that jack does is stops it from stripping that, because when you've got so much pressure pushing down, this is only an aluminium bush. And you just drop that down now, and you'll see we should be able to get the spring out now. Obviously, there's the full spring. Oh, hang on. One thing I did forget. Oh. One thing I forgot, which you don't want to do, because if you break it, you're fucked, is the height sensor little arm thing here. We'll take this off. All it is a little 10mm bolt, and then that allows you just to take this little piece off. We'll get that off, and then we'll be able to drop the arm. That's it. We're all human, we make mistakes. Right, so all it is, as you can see there, it's a little 10mm nut. Take that off, and then when I lower it now, it shouldn't break anything. And then that'll allow me to get that screw out. And all I'm doing is pulling it down a little bit difficult when you first do it. A little bit of leverage. That's it, that's out. So we'll take down the garage now. We'll do exactly the same process. Right, so we know the righting is the right way when the spring's the right way. That's the bottom piece. And we'll do exactly the same process as before. We'll just measure it like I did. And just for, look, you'll see it in a bit when I drop the car, but when I dropped the car it was sitting on the side I just cut, roughly about 15 mil, well, I'd say exactly 15 mil lower, and it's about the right height that I want. So what I'll do is, the top one for now, and cut the tops. Just make sure this is the same size, exactly 290 again. So I'm going to go down exactly the same process, just turn until I see 175, it's 180, $175, perfect. So what I'll do is I'll just mark it where the 175 is, and I bet you she's exactly the same. Yep. Exactly the same. Fucking beautiful. And you just love it when a plan comes together. Right. We'll cut this one, and then we'll stick some paint on it, and we're good to go. Pigtail, or not pigtail, but cut. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Right, so that's the ride out now. It's dropped it down a bit on the back, so it's a finger. It's a finger, if you like, where it was more. It was easy up here. So it's definitely fits the arch a lot better. The front can come down a little bit now as well, but overall I'm happy. I think with the back end coming down, it'll bring the lip up, which will allow me to come down slightly a bit more. I am ordering 20-inch wheels, so with that being a 35 wall tyre, the new 20s are going to have a 30 on the back, so the overall wheel stays the same in terms of diameter. This one will be a little bit bigger with a 30 wall on and a 20-inch wheel, so that gap will probably even out. So I might even actually leave the front suspension until I get the wheels, and then we'll get it tracked. Right, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.